What is up, my talentless talent babies? We are back with another Dills Extravaganza Part Two. And who am I bringing on as my guest? My mother, Tina Dills. She is an angel, a sweet, sweet woman. I don't know how I came out of that woman. I'm honestly very surprised. But I guess if you know my dad, it makes sense. My dad is a heathen. My mom is the sweetest woman that I have ever met. And I'm not just saying that because it is my mother. I am being dead ass 100%. If I never met this woman in my life and then I just had her on my podcast, I would ask her to adopt me. The woman is amazing. My father is a crazy ass biker man, and somehow he just shacks up with the most perfect human on earth. She is fantastic. She is fabulous. She is wholesome. She is hysterical. She is smart as hell. Funny. The woman is funny. And she is artistic. She makes bendy dolls. She does doll houses. She has made so much art over the past 26 years of my life that I have seen and that I have been a part of. I am just honestly shocked that I have zero talent. I am so shocked. I don't understand it. I don't get it. She is fabulous at everything she touches. You should see the scrapbooks that we have that she used to just sit and make. She would cut out paper. Her handwriting is beautiful. I just don't understand it. And it was really cool because I got to talk to her and hear some stories that I've never heard before. And of course, I've heard bits and pieces of my mother's life and I know a little bit, but it was really cool to really kind of dive into the creative part of my mom. And she is so selfless. She doesn't spend a lot of time talking about herself, and being able to really just sit and kind of indulge and let her indulge in herself and tell me stories that I've never heard before. It's kind of fantastic. So, this is Dills Extravaganza Part 2. It is so nice outside, baby. It's spring. We are feeling good. We are wearing shirts with no sleeves. I went out tonight in a halter top, just feeling sassy and sexy in the middle of spring. So, what a better way to start out the spring? I don't know when spring actually is, but at the moment it hits 60 degrees, it is spring. The moment it hits February, it is spring. I don't give a shit if it snows again. It's springtime, baby. We're here, we're in it. So, what a great way to start it out, just by having a bright, bubbly, lovely human of a mom on my podcast. It's really cool to share this with you guys. I get to talk to my mom every single day. I get to hear her every single day. So being able to really put this out there for people that have listened to my podcast and have enjoyed it is just really, really exciting. I do want to say, if you don't have a mother and you want a mom, my mom will take that role 100%. She supports me in everything that I do. Very lovely, lovely lady. I can't say enough good things about her. So this is Dills. Dills like the pickle extravaganza part 2. I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, you have no heart. That's all. Enjoy, baby! All right, so we're here. It's Talentless Talent, Dills Extravaganza Part 2, and I have a special guest. It is my mom. Say
Hello.
hi. Hello. So we decided to record this because I come from a human of many talents and wanted to get into that. So the way that me and my mother met was I was born. It's kind of the same with Galen. So,
yeah, I guess I didn't meet you till you were born, though. I was with you for 9 months before that.
Was it a good 9 months?
It was a good 9 months.
Yeah, I was a good pregnant baby.
Yeah, you were pretty much good. I mean, I'd have to like relax after coming home from work, but yeah, it was an easy pregnancy.
That's weird. Was I an easy child?
No.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
You were a good baby, but you had a period of time from about 2 in the afternoon to about 4, maybe 3 to 5, where you just were fussy. And so I would put you in the swing and let you swing. And when your dad came in the door, I'm like, she's yours.
Please take her.
Because you were like sort of, I guess they maybe call it colicky.
Oh, gross.
So you just had like about those 2 hours where you were fussy. And that was like probably just for about 2 months. But yeah, he come in the door and took you. So it's good.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But
he's a good dad.
I was a trash teenager. I know that for a
struggle.
fact.
It was a struggle.
It was hard.
Junior high was hard.
I don't understand why, though. Puberty.
Drama, girl angst. I don't know. But there was some time. Yeah.
So when I guess grew up and you put Gellin into sports, did you force him to go into sports, or was it just like, this is what you're gonna do? You're a boy, go to do the sport.
I think it was just a thing that, yes, it's what people did. And when I was growing up, I wasn't in sports. We just didn't have. We lived in the country. Didn't always have a place to drive.
You lived on a farm,
And
right?
yeah, when I was going into 6th grade, we moved to a farm, and we were about 2 miles from school. Either way, middle school was one direction, and my mom didn't drive. We had one vehicle. My dad took to work, and he did not work predictable schedules. So yeah, it was just hard to do. Now my sister is younger than me. Both of them. One's 15 months younger. One's 11 years younger. They were more in sports, but I wasn't. So when Galen came along, it was just the thing to do.
Yeah, just throw him
Yeah,
in
yeah.
sports.
But he was always a physical kid. I always say that he was. In my experience, kids are walkers or talkers, and he was a walker, and you were a talker.
Ooh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, because he, when he finally got up on his hands and knees, started rocking back and forth to crawl, when he got the crawling going, he crawled over to the couch, stood up, and he didn't crawl again.
So he only crawled for like 5 seconds of his life.
Basically, it seems like it. Yeah. And then I remember him looking at you saying, "When's she gonna talk?" I said, "I don't know, buddy. But she will." And when you started,
I didn't
you
stop.
didn't stop.
Here I am still. That's why I have a podcast. That's what I do. That's hysterical. So with putting him in sports, I also got put into sports, but
Yeah.
I was in soccer when I was little, right?
Yeah, you did soccer when you were really little.
Yeah.
And you did softball.
Oh, and dance.
You danced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galen
And,
danced too.
Yeah, Galen danced too. So did Ethan.
Yeah.
And I danced when I was little, for a little bit, and I twirled baton. And then, you did. So basically, when you're young, but I wanted to like let you have all kind of experiences, and then let you settle in with what you wanted. Galen did karate. You never did, though. I reconnected with a friend from a long time ago, Maureen, whose dad, Don Madden, had the dojo, and she and I would sit, and you and her daughter Blair, who's a little bit older than you, would play, and so you had the karate experience, except you played together.
I played, yeah. I put my head in a toilet with her.
That's the thing that we just laugh about. So, so there were experiences, and if you wanted to do them, I would encourage it. You did piano lessons. I just wanted you guys to have a lot of experiences, and then again settle into what you want to. You play basketball,
Yeah.
pee-wee ball for the school. You played volleyball in junior high.
Yeah.
You did track. You even did some track in high school.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
So yeah,
I did cross country for 2 weeks.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that story's terrifying. I'm not
Yeah.
going to tell it on this one,
All
but
right.
it's scary.
Yeah,
That was the worst experience of my life when it came to sports. But so when you were growing up and on the farm and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, with not being able to do sports, what did you do?
4-H. Like, sounds stereotypical. It was a while before we got into 4-H, but then I was really active in 4-H. We, my sisters and I, we had animals, and I was involved in the junior leadership program. And even though people might not, I was terribly shy and awkward, and I didn't have a lot of self confidence, but I was able to go there and put myself out. Um, so I counseled camp. I won a lot of trips through 4-H, so I was able to go to Washington D.C. and leadership camp, and I also was on the junior fair board and had a lot of experiences through there. So that was basically what we did, though. I mean, we just had a really good growing up when I think back to it. My dad had a pond built, and I spent the summer with my sisters laying out in the sun, baking. And then the church that we went to, we babysat. So during school, we didn't have JAWS. I have a sister, the 15-month-old. So everybody thought we were twins. So she and I did basically everything together. But we babysat for all the church things and made money that way. And then when we finally did have the car available, we would drive into town to a Friendly's restaurant and buy ice cream and spoil my baby sister with our money. So cute. But yeah, basically that's it, and then up until like high school, all my cousins would come and stay for the summer, and we just always had a good time. Yeah. And we gardened, I guess you call it, raised lots of vegetables.
That sounds good. Fresh.
Yeah, fresh.
Farm
hoed the corn and picked up rocks and just all kind of crazy.
Real farm life.
Yeah, really, in a way, real farm
Had pigs, had chickens.
We pigs for 4-H, chickens. My mom and dad eventually had like 200 laying hens and sold eggs. My little sister had a horse for a while. We did sheep for 4-H. When we first moved there, the guy we bought the place off of, he had calves there, but we never did have calves ourselves.
That'd be so cool to have a cow.
Yeah. But so we had them. Yeah, cows are cool.
Yeah, I really want a cow. I want a baby goat.
I want the little short-horn, curly-haired Highland calves.
Yes,
yep, that's my one of my dreams is to have like a petting zoo and have all those little pygmy dwarf animals.
Just all the small. It's just a petting zoo, but
because
small.
I don't know why we never did have a goat, and goats are awesome.
Goats are the best.
Yeah,
those are the best freaking videos to watch on the internet is goat videos.
And I mean, we had rabbits, and you had rabbits too.
I did have rabbits. I was I won an award.
Yeah, you did.
I was in the newspaper.
Was it junior or beginning showmanship?
Yeah.
And you won.
Won. You know why? Because I'm good at talking.
That's
and
right.
I talked my way
because
through
the picture in the newspaper, and I've got it. What to do it? Get it out and take a picture, and you can post it. But yeah, because you were talking to the guy, and he's bent down and just enthralled with you. And but that's one thing. All three of you kids have been on the front page of the paper at one time or another.
And it's not for drugs.
No.
It's for doing good things.
It is. It's for, being a champion or winning your, rabbit showmanship where you had to know about rabbits. And then was Ethan on the front page, but he was there with the one time he was there from school when an author came in, and he was so excited. And
that's a cute picture.
So yeah, you guys, you make your way.
We're doing stuff.
That's right.
But what I remember from growing up is, and this is the specific story I'm going to tell about it. So I remember you having doll houses.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
And with the doll houses, you would make miniature there would be like miniature furniture.
Yes.
And tiny food.
I was wondering if you remember, because I thought about showing you how to make that tiny food.
I want to. I remember one thing specifically. It was a tiny Jell-O, and it actually moved like Jell-O, and I remember just
I didn't make that one, but it was an exchange where you made things and sent them out and got them, and I wonder what happened to that little Jell-O.
It was me. I wanted to chew on it really bad.
It was like red, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it had like It looked
Cherry.
like whipped cream
Yeah.
and a cherry on top. Yeah, someone sent that to me in exchange for what I made. I made cupcakes.
Oh, little mini cupcakes.
Right. We took I took the little wooden plugs that you use to cover screws when you're assembling furniture, and I used puff paint and made chocolate and vanilla. I took brown and white, and it looked put it over the top of that little plug, and it looked like icing. And then I took paper and cut them real thin and wrapped it around the bottom, and it looked like cupcakes.
And that was like before Facebook.
Oh yeah.
So how did you find the person to do the exchange?
That was back in the old days when you did dial up connections to the World Wide Web. And so you would get on and it would block your phone line so nobody could call, and you would hear the handshake, the wee wee wee, and then it was on a forum. So, you would type and all, and it was exciting to meet with people, from the dollhouse community.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
really cool.
Yeah.
So it's like having your little Facebook groups, but
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Although people were much kinder and gentler back in the day.
they're making little
Yeah.
dollhouse
Yeah.
foods.
So, and then I printed out little boxes and on heavy paper and cut it up and put. I'm trying if I used saran wrap or something, so it looked like it was in a cupcake box.
That's so cute.
And sent them out. So everybody in the exchange got from me a half a dozen chocolate and vanilla cupcakes.
Little baby cupcakes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how did you get started in doing dollhouses? Is that something you did when you were young? Because I know that was a thing, was dollhouses. You'd
Yeah.
get the little kits, put them
Yeah.
together, all that stuff.
I think I remember being like 5 years old, going to a department store in Chillicothe that in the middle, it was like Christmas. We didn't shop a whole lot. We didn't get to go, but it was like right around Christmas time. And we went, and there was this amazing thing. It was a little plastic house that folded up and had a handle, and these little people lived in there. And these little people were like little pegs, and they had no arms or legs. And there was a little staircase and a little bed. And I was amazed. Like I said, I'm probably 5. And I got that for Christmas. And it's the Fisher Price Little People. And I was just hooked with little things like that. And in fact, I still have a collection of little people. But then my dad brought home a booklet, and I think it was from a dollhouse store. And it was where you could order dollhouses and furniture. And the best at that time came from Germany. And I think dollhouse people, still the better dollhouse families, come from Germany. And I just wanted it so bad. And for whatever reason, I never got it.
Nope.
I never, I didn't get, that was the only dollhouse I ever got. And I didn't get this, but I just remember sitting looking through page after page after page of this little book. And it's weird. I don't know where it ever went to, but that was just something I wanted. And if my dad would have got me that for Christmas, I probably would have never asked for anything else.
Yeah.
And then we did Barbies. Barbies
Mhm.
was a big thing. And my neighbor bought some kind of a boat. And I'm trying to think of what kind of boat would come in a cardboard box, but it did. And my mom and dad were awesome. They let us have this boat, and we had it in the house, and our house wasn't big. And we could make furniture. It was big enough that, it was like a trailer for Barbie,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did Barbies.
Yeah.
But then, but I still just was always amazed by the dollhouse. And then the year your dad got me a kit, because I was always going through looking at the kits. And the kits back then, this is in the 80s, they were still like $100 or more.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. In fact, the price of kits, if you look at dollhouse kits now, the price of the kits really haven't gone up
Yeah.
from then. But he bought me a kit for Christmas, and we were, I was finishing school and I was pregnant for Galen, and he was working construction, and we would go to the construction site after he got off, and we would clean and anything. We would clean up the wire after the electricians, and his boss let us keep the wire, and you could get money for it. And I was talking to his boss the one night, his foreman, I think it was, and telling him about the kid. And I said, I just need to buy carpenter glue. And I remember he came to the next day, and he had a old dishwashing detergent bottle filled with carpenter glue.
Oh
and
my
he gave me.
gosh, awesome.
So I was able to build that house, and that's the house,
Yeah.
It's the Victorian, about 3 foot high, and it's had many reincarnations over the years, and it is in my bedroom now, waiting to be repaired.
Yeah. I've seen it many different colors.
Yes.
Too. A lot of different insides.
Yes.
Which I remember that dollhouse fondly. Did Dad know about you wanting, like, your interest in dollhouses?
Yeah, because every time we would go to this one store that had them, I would just go there and walk through the aisles and just be amazed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when we went to see the little cabin on the wayside.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yeah. The little cabin on the wayside.
I know so much about the little prairie now, the big prairie.
But you've got to read the books, girl.
I know. I promised I would, and
I should have brought my set and left them with you.
That's not the same. I always get that and the Sound of Music mixed up.
Yeah. I don't know why, but yeah.
Or the
They're
Fiddler
sort
on
of
the Roof.
opposite. But...
Aren't they all the same? The Fiddler
well,
on the
no,
Roof?
but the Fiddler on the Roof has a violin, and Little House on the Prairie, Paul played a violin.
There we go. I'm gonna
that might
that.
Be. We'll say this.
And then I think Fiddler on the Roof is the same as Sound of Music because they're musicals.
Maybe.
That's what I'm gonna contribute that to.
Maybe we need to go see a live Sound of Music or Fiddler on the Roof so you can get that.
Get it clear and let's figure that out. But when we went there, you were gonna make that dollhouse. Are you going to do that?
I think so. I don't have a lot of room in the house. So I might make it at a smaller scale, so but it's not that big to begin with.
Yeah.
So if I keep it at a regular 1 foot equal or 1 inch equals 1 foot, it still wouldn't be very big because that it wasn't a big.
It was like a room.
Yeah. Basically, it was
rooms.
like 2 little rooms.
And there was 5 people in there, right? 4.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I retained a lot of information from that trip.
Yeah, you did.
I did good.
Yeah.
That was such a good trip.
Yeah.
We got to go to, where did they end up? Nebraska?
They ended up in DeSmet, South Dakota, which I've been to there.
Yeah.
My dad took us all in, like, I think it was 1975. We went out west, and that's one of the places we stopped. That's where the little town on the prairie is, and Long Winter, a couple of the books are set there.
Yeah.
I want to go to the place in where on the banks of Plum Creek, they lived in a dugout where they dug dirt out and lived under there. The dugout doesn't exist, but you can go to where it was.
Yeah.
And then I found a new one that I haven't even talked to you about.
What is it?
It is where her husband, Almanzo, who is in her second book she wrote, The Farmer Boy. That is where he is from, and he is New York. And I don't know why I never even thought about it, so I looked it up the other day. And if we went, we could go right up Lake Erie. We could go toll all the way, I-90, if you wanted to. But I don't know, you might be banned from
I
a
think
toll
I have
road.
a warrant out for my arrest.
Seeing as how every time I think of a toll road, I say to your dad, I wonder if she ever got on and paid those tolls.
The answer is no. I have it in the mail. I have to send my card information.
But we're going the opposite direction because
I'll be fine.
he's from New York.
Okay.
So if we would go up, and I'm trying to talk to your dad, but you know how your dad is about traveling. If we went up and hit I-90, and we would go like along the banks of Lake Erie and on the banks of Lake Ontario,
Ooh,
up, like past Niagara Falls
yeah.
to the farm where he grew up.
That would be cool. That's
Yep.
a fun trip. We
Yeah,
could
that
even
would
stop
be a
at
cool
Niagara
trip.
Falls. Yeah.
That, and I've not been up that area, so I saw that and I thought, ooh, that's a good trip too.
That's a good one.
And then she ended up in the Ozarks, and that's where she lived until she passed away. So that is a trip I'd like to take too.
Where's the Ozarks?
Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Missouri.
Yeah.
Even though you don't hear much about it.
No,
I just want
but
to go
you
see
used to hear
things.
Branson, with the music and all that.
Yeah.
But me, I'm not so much touristy or thing, but that's just something that
I wanna do.
means a lot for me. It's cool.
Yeah. And then with the television, like that's the book.
There
What
is the
TV
television show. However, I don't like the television show, though many people absolutely love it.
Why?
The television show came on when I was a little girl, and I'd already read the books. And the first episode comes on, and I'm like, this isn't right. Pa does not have a beard. Michael Landon played Pa, her dad, and he didn't have a beard, and I was through. Because there's some things like that I struggle with. And no, now, did I watch the show sometimes? Did I like it? I had a hard time separating what didn't follow the book from there, and then some of the storylines. I mean, they it's like everything else. They start with the book and go on, but no, I couldn't deal.
No,
I couldn't deal. No, and then she called her husband like manly in a weird way, and I don't recall her doing that in the book. And I'm like, oh no, this doesn't work.
We're done.
Yeah,
Canceled.
But basically, like, being excited that my favorite book's going to come on TV, and then, I mean, Paul had a beard.
They screwed it up.
They messed it up. And I'm looking at it this way, and I don't even know how old I was, but I'm like, well, if they can't get that fact right, then what else are they going to screw with?
It's all going to be wrong. Just savor the book.
It's just wrong. And again, I mean, I can be dogmatic like that, I guess is the word, but yeah, so a lot of people love the book, or love the show, and it was good I guess in its own right, but I just couldn't deal.
When I was looking it all up before we went on our trip, there's like whole communities that I didn't realize existed of Little House on the Prairie people. Like,
right.
Ooh, it's intense. I didn't realize how big of
it is. And I mean, I teach fourth grade, and I would love to do the books, but somehow the fifth grade teacher says she teaches them. And although I've never experienced that, and I guess I can say it depending on our, but it's odd how she didn't teach it the first year I was there, but then when she found out I liked it,
now she's teaching it.
But that's, I still read like excerpts out of it. And one of the things that my sister and I and our friends and stuff, we always would take our wagon and pretend we were like traveling in a wagon, and we had different things. That's one thing we played.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, with that, like, going and making that dollhouse, you made a Christmas story.
Yes.
Dollhouse too.
I did. It doesn't exist in
R.I.P. Thanks, Dad. You dig.
However, I did. I took a kit that my sister gave me. Her friend had it and never built it, and I took it, and I did what's called in the miniature world kit bashing. And you take a kit, instead of building it exactly like it was designed to do, you change it. So one of my favorite Christmas movie is A Christmas Story, and we watch it all the time, and at least once. And if you've ever been around us, my kids and I, we always have sayings, and my sister's same way, that we say. And that Christmas Story is one of them. When we holler bumpuses, people know, that, there's issues going on. But yeah, I took that, and I knew I wanted to do a theme like that. So I changed it and I covered it in um, with yellow paper. Do scrapbooking, did scrapbooking. I always had stuff, and I put the lights on it, and I used battery powered lights. And then I was making all of the furniture myself out of like real thin wood or heavy paper. And yeah, it was cool. And at the time, I lived in a lot bigger house. I had room for it, and it never quite got done. I mean, I do struggle with finishing some projects, and I think I like building dollhouses better than furnishing them and finishing them out.
You could have somebody else finish it. You could probably build it and give it to somebody
Yeah,
else.
but
to
that's what
finish.
I really like is
Yeah.
the build, and it is. I've built everything's been from kids.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, for Little House on the Prairie, I could do that. A lot of people use foam core now. It makes them really light. You know, it's the um, styrofoam with the paper backing that you use for your trifold boards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I could do it out of that.
But that's
so.
not ethical. Styrofoam.
ethical.
Yeah, right? Isn't it? Isn't that
No,
what that says for?
non-renewable. Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah, that's
about
what
or
I'm
whatever? Not.
ethical is like
I don't know.
ethical source.
Yeah,
meat.
it's like not environmentally friendly. I don't know.
I don't know who cares. Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
My plan is for it to not go to landfills. So I mean, I guess that that if your styrofoam's going to landfill, then
Keep it
it's
forever.
one thing. But yeah, and then I have one other dollhouse, and I bought it when I was going to be off work, going through cancer treatment. And so I built that, and it is on my dresser. It's a little house that I started as light blue. It's green now. And in my mind, that's a Cassia house
Yeah.
after Ethan's little girl. I've got a little blonde doll that sits in the front. And again, it needs repaired too because moving is not friendly
To dollhouse.
to my dollhouse.
That's fragile.
It is fragile.
Fragile.
But I don't plan on moving anytime soon. So if I can get them all fixed up and going, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is the miniature world? Does it only consist of doll houses, or is that a whole
No,
world?
there's a whole world. And some people focus on room boxes. So they take a little box and decide to like make a vignette, maybe a library. So they'll take a box that's about 8 by 12. So in a traditional 1 inch equal 1 foot, that's an 8 foot by 12 foot room, and then they'll make things.
They'll just make a room.
Yeah, you can make a room. And that's pretty cool because then, and those are, again, I like the house part, building the house part, but then they get more into the actual furnishing.
Like the details. of it,
Right,
yeah.
right. And it's really cool. And they light it, and they create like artificial windows so it looks like you're looking outside. But there's a lot involved in that. There's people that just focus on books or paintings that are accurate. And then I found a brand new niche miniature wise just in the last couple of weeks, and it involves, and I don't even know if there's a name for it, but they make these little boxes like that in for bookcases.
Oh.
So you know how people style bookcases
Yeah.
and everything. Well, these are little tiny things about the size of a decent sized book, and they put them in the bookcase. And the one I saw was of, I'm hesitating here because I'm channeling a Ron Weasley word and Harry Potter word. Instead of diagonally, you know how Harry Potter says diagonally and
Yes.
goes in, but it was a diagon alley. So that you're looking at the bookcase, and then here's this space, and you're looking at the cobblestones, and it goes and it looks like it turns around the corner and goes behind the books, and it had the wand maker store. And all
What?
that. Yeah,
And it's just a tiny miniature.
It's a tiny little miniature piece about the size. I'm looking at your bookcase. There's a books over there.
Yeah.
About the size of that. You can make it any size, but to make it look authentic, you wanted the size of a book. Maybe 2 inches, 3 inches thick, and yeah.
Could you do it like a portal? Like if you look through, it'd be like space.
Oh yeah, there's all kind, or because you build false backs on it, and then you can put a window, and it looks like you're looking into, in this case, into the wand shop or whatever. Like you could, and there's no reason you couldn't do anything like even Little House on the Prairie, or I think like maybe of Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
Think of famous books.
Yeah.
Or you could do Hunger Games and have it look like maybe a jungle, and you can see the kids out there, But yeah, that's a new one that I found.
That is super neat.
Yeah, it's cool. And you could do it around whatever it is that strikes your fancy, I guess.
Hell yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
What about the this these ones always freaked me out, but it wasn't, I'll get to. The little wool things, are those part of the miniature world, or is that just something different? What are those?
Making things out of wool.
Yes.
Where with the needle and all that?
Yeah, that's
wool
miniature.
felting.
Yeah, is that a part of the miniature?
It can be.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the scale you make, but where you take like yarn and you stab it with a needle, and it thickens up the yarn, and you can do mice and different things. So, I mean, that's just another crafty type thing. But my big thing was I just never had the money to go out, because when you start looking at dollhouse furniture, it's expensive.
Yeah.
The nice stuff. And if you buy curtains instead of make them, I always made them. They're expensive, so I would look at different ways to make things on the cheap, because that's me.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. And that's one of them, is the felting, where you take like a ball of yarn and you stab it, and then it starts to shape it, and you can shape it like into mice. And
is that the one? I don't know if that's the one that freaked me out. There was one craft that not like freaked out, but I remember seeing it and being like,
that
what
one
is
and the
that?
reborn baby.
Yes,
one
that's it. It's the baby one. That one freaked me out. I don't understand it. I don't.
It's a big thing now, and for whatever reason, and it was probably that particular time in my life, and it wasn't that long ago. It sounds weird, and where people take baby dolls, and then they and realistic looking ones, and then they paint them to make them look even more realistic.
Yes.
And I thought that was something I would like to do. All right, so I order parts of this baby doll,
Yes.
and I couldn't get the coloring or nothing right. And so you take acetone and you take the paint off, and then you paint it again. You paint it to look little veins and everything. And I finally gave up. So imagine if that freaks you out, I threw it in the garbage can. So
somebody else found it and was like, "What the hell is this?" And it's like a half realistic.
Yeah, it's like a baby, looking. Of course, my painting skills weren't great, but yeah, that's what. And at the same time, I was trying to do the repaints. Like I follow this guy on YouTube named Christian. It's spelled with Hextian, and he does that with brat dolls and different dolls.
I've seen his videos with brat dolls before.
He's awesome. That's what I said. You need to reach out to him.
Come on here.
Yeah,
hey.
yeah, come on in. But because it's realistic, like how he'll take dolls, and he doesn't always. But there are other communities like that where, like, if it's a special edition doll that looks like Cher, they take it and they use the acetone, take the paint off, and paint it like very detailed and realistic.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's a whole world.
Yeah, it truly is. And then, like I said, my problem is I don't have plans. What do I do with them when I'm done with things like that? Do you put them up in a shelf?
You put them on Etsy
or look at them.
You sell those bad boys.
But anyway, those repaint dolls and stuff, that's really cool.
Yeah, I remember the baby doll. I remember you looking at it on a website. I was being like, what
Yeah,
is this?
because I mean they're expensive. Some of them sell for $400 to $600, and then if you get on YouTube and you start looking, they'll do the unboxing of the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
and
there's a woman that has a collection of that, and you walk into a room and it's
right,
these
it's
realistic
babies. I mean, I actually at one time had thought, when I had the bigger house, and but I'm
What, you would have a giant baby
not,
room?
not a giant baby room, but one baby. What every
Oh,
house,
like a child?
every
Like a real life
every
child?
house needs a baby.
Oh no.
It's hard when you.
That's
don't
probably why
have
I'm freaked out by it.
kids.
Because I don't want
You don't. Yeah.
babies.
Yeah. Well,
freaky. No, thank
maybe
you.
so.
But that painting over there is one that you did out of tissue paper.
Yes, that's a collage that I did, and that is I don't know if I exactly when I did it, but it's a collage. It's tissue paper, and I painted it to get my different colors and to put it together. So
But my dress is like textured. It's out of something different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's either wallpaper or a little booklet of dollhouse wallpaper.
Yeah.
And again, it's scrapbook paper, and the moon like has the shadows of the like the real moon, and that's a handmade paper. I didn't make it, but I bought a like pack of handmade paper, and that was out of it. And then I painted the stars, and the outfit is after one that you had one similar to, and that's Kylie's moon. Is that called because my dad thought the world of his kids and his grandkids, and he would take Kylie, he would take you out when you were in his little. He'd pick you up and take you out and say, look, see that moon? That is the moon, and that is your moon. I gave that to you.
You heard it here first on Talentless Talent. I own the moon, bitches. It is mine.
He's like, yeah, and that's what he said. He said, I hung that up there for you. It is yours. And honestly, if Kylie had said, Papa, I need the moon now, he would have tried everything he could to get up there and get it.
I love that picture, and I love the story behind it, and it has gone with me everywhere. I have taken it everywhere.
It was on a canvas. It's a little warpy, but it looks good in your room. I'm proud that you have it hung up.
I made the frame for it in 4-H.
Oh, that's right. That's what you did.
Yeah.
And I tried to get it to lay flat, but you can't tell really that it's wonky.
Plus, my entire apartment's wonky, so I mean,
hey, it fits in.
It does fit
but
in.
And it makes me feel good that you have it up there. I wish I could continuously produce things like that. I get in the habit, or I get into a thing, and then again I don't always finish.
That's how Leather Daddy is.
Yeah. I move on.
Yeah, to other things.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, that's one of my favorites, and I like that it's in a frame that I made.
There you go.
But the frame is wonky as shit.
Yeah, I have the. See, Kylie, you think you don't have talent, and I guess defining talent, or maybe it being something you want to do. But I in my apartment, I have the footstool you made.
Yeah, Sierra wrote Dills on the bottom of that.
Yeah, I've been debating on whether to paint it or not.
She would be salty. Don't do that.
But so here's this little white footstool that's got, I think, purple. It's because it's been purple,
and
white. And it's a heart, and then Dills. But I think isn't it spelled with a Z?
Yeah.
Okay. Which we know that story.
We
right?
know that.
We know that story. But anyway, so I've got that belongs to you.
Yeah. Well, Grandpa was a woodworker.
Yes.
I mean, I guess a carpenter. Is that what you call him?
No, he was more a woodworker. A carpenter, I think, of somebody that makes
stairs,
houses, or I don't know, but which he could do. But yeah, he was a woodworker.
He had a whole wood shop. I remember the wood shop, and there just being sawdust everywhere at all times,
up to your knees,
and dusty.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. That's probably why I like the smell of
probably because you think of that probably if you would see it now, and he would do flavorful. I don't know flavorful, but aromatic wood. He would do cherry and cedar.
Oh, I thought it was Smelly wood.
Smelly wood.
Wait,
but
but
good
it does smell
smelly
like
wood.
it smells like wood.
Right. He would make things out of,
I have his
different
bookshelf in my room.
Yes, he made that bookshelf for me when I went to college.
It's the heaviest bookshelf I've ever had.
It
in my
is
life.
heavy, and there's something wonky about that too, but I can't figure. Does it stand upright?
It stands up right in there.
And,
but again, my apartment's wonky. So,
But yeah, he made that for me when I went to college.
when you were in college, did you do any little art things?
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah. So what did you do? I want to know.
For school, you mean, or
Just in general, yeah.
Well, I was still in college when I was doing the dollhouse. I was in my last year. Back when we were on quarters, so it was my last 3 quarters. Actually, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I spent a year in visual communication, so we had various art projects for there. I just couldn't produce high quality stuff knowing I was going to be graded on it, so I struggled
Yeah.
with that, though I really wanted to. I went to college wanting to be a medical illustrator.
What is that?
Back in the day, before the computers like we had now, all of the medical pictures, books, things you would see in a doctor's office.
Those were illustrations by humans.
Yes.
What? You
Yeah.
would have been out of a job, though.
Yeah. Exactly. How does that work? Because I really, wanted to do that. I was considered a fairly good artist. But again, I struggled through college with like self-esteem type issues where I wasn't comfortable putting myself out there, being judged for my, I don't know what I was thinking. But again, it worked out because, I don't even know if that program even would exist.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that's what I started. And then in the visual communications, same type of thing. I mean, to produce on the level, I mean, it was nerve-wracking. Beyond nerve-wracking.
Isn't that like graphic design?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Visual communications, graphic design.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was back in the day where, and not to take anything away from people that do graphic design nowadays, but I just remember having to do a poster for a music group that one of my professors liked, and we were to produce a sign for it. We had to figure out what letters we wanted, and we had to fill out paperwork and submit it to the typography department. And the typography department, and it was students, like work study students,
Yeah.
they sat at this giant machine. And when I say giant, I'm thinking, I don't know, like 5 foot by 6 foot, and type like on a typewriter what you wanted, and you had to specify what font, and the fonts were limited, and they would type it out and print it out, and you would go pick it up, and then you would have to cut them
And then put
paste
them on the
them.
poster. Oh my!
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know, and I mean, I can sit now with Google Slides, and in 2 minutes
Have
do
a whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
done.
It's just crazy.
That's nuts.
So, I don't know, but so I did arty type things, and then and see, that's why it took me 5 years to graduate, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I liked so much.
Yeah.
And I moved from place to, idea to idea. I was taking a arts and crafts course that you have to take if you want to be an occupational therapist, and we did do artsy stuff in there. We did learn to do pottery on a wheel.
Oh.
We learned to do slab work where you cut it out, and I made, and I had them for a long time. I made bookends with this like sort of semi-original to me tree of life type etching and painted, and and so I did like that, and I got a good grade, but I don't know if it's because I was good or the teacher said I reminded him of someone.
No.
Yeah. And he kept telling me
No.
every day that I reminded him
That's
of
terrible.
somebody. And he was funny. He was from Nova Scotia and he had that accent,
Yes.
you know? And finally he came in one day and said, I remembered who you remind me of, and
Who?
you get an A. And that's all.
No, that is
that's
what
all
he's. No, absolutely not, sir. I want to know who it is. Did he ever tell you? Do we know?
No,
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I need to find that man.
I don't know.
I'm so uncomfortable. Yeah, I'll take the A. Fuck it. But
I
who?
don't think I even ever told your dad that story. And he and I, were together then. I don't know that I ever told him that story. He goes, he would have probably like followed me creepy to class and went in the class and been like,
and fought the
Yeah.
guy. That sounds like something that would happen. I've never had anything like that in my life. That is the easiest A I've ever heard of. What? Oh.
And I was getting okay grades then, but anyway, and I don't know if my A in that class was earned or whatever, but
Oh man, if you're a professor from Nova Scotia that taught at OSU, I have some questions. Please call me. I don't understand. Oh, that's crazy. That is insane. But I know that we talked about doing, I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Little bead guys.
What are they? Bead dolls, I think.
Bead dolls.
Bead dolls. And again, I found these because I couldn't afford the dollhouse people.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe if I had people for my dollhouses, that I would want to finish them because my people can't live in bare, empty dollhouse rooms, right? Who does that?
The man from Nova Scotia.
Maybe. So they're bendy people. That's what they're called. So and again, this was now in modern day because I think I've done them maybe 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Pinterest, I think, was around. So once, as you're in your dollhouse, once we got into where there were forums and there were photo sharing and things, a lot of dollhouse things got easier.
Yeah.
And you could watch, videos of how to do techniques. Like people make houses look like stone using egg cartons and things, and you learn. So that's where these came from. And you take little beads and at the time I was planning a little house on the prairie one because I think the first one I made was a little Laura doll.
Yeah. Don't you have a couple of them now?
Yeah, I have quite a few. And one year for Christmas, I made them and gave them to my nieces as Christmas presents. I made a Harry Potter and I know Elphaba.
Yeah.
But I don't know did I give that to you?
No.
Maybe.
I don't have the
know.
Elphaba. No, we were going to make Elphaba. And
I made her. I made her.
one? When?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where is she?
Where she went? I don't know. Because I know when I went through the box the other day, Elphaba was not in there.
I thought we were talking about making an Elphaba.
We
Did
were.
I steal the Elphaba?
But when we were thinking about doing Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do the Sanderson sisters.
Yes,
Did you bring
Sandersons.
stuff with you?
I have stuff. Yeah,
wanna make one.
I brought them.
Not make up any
But
people.
anyway, so basically it's with a little bead and the beads that I was able to find is about the right scale. Because again, another thing I'm sort of weird about is the scale's got to be right. I can't take like Barbie stuff and stick them in a house that's made for smaller people, and I get hung up on weird stuff like that sometimes. So, but it's little beads, and you use floral wire. And you thread it through the bead. The beads have holes in them. And then you use embroidery floss for the hair. So you can pick whatever hair color you want. And there's different hairstyles. And again, you go on YouTube and look up these bendy dolls. And we're on, might follow me on Pinterest. I have a board
Plug.
among my like 75 boards I have because I am that person. One of them is bendy dolls. And you can do all kind of hairstyle, and then you can do clothes and everything.
I want to make them. Did we ever find out there was a blonde boy, and we didn't know who it was? You said Harry Potter, and I was like, Harry Potter's not blonde.
Because Harry Potter's not blonde. And he's got an orange sweater on.
So if anybody knows,
that it must be Ralphie from the Christmas Story. Because he's got glasses. That's Ralphie.
Yep, there it is.
That's Ralphie.
Hey!
All right, well,
that's
good because the idea of I had a doll I made, I had no idea who he was supposed to be. That was strange.
It was traumatizing to watch you try to figure
and
that
then
out.
I sort of branched out from the dollhouse version and did where you do it with flowers and plastic flower petals and make
There's little fairies
and fairies and so I made fairies. I made Tinkerbell and a couple of others like Fall Fairy and Winter Fairy.
They're so cute. I just don't understand how you're so artistic, and then I don't know. Gellin can't fucking draw. Gellin can't.
No, I laugh because I tell the story all the time. It's not a bad thing, but I just remember, we sent him to preschool. My little sister went to the vocational school preschool, and we knew some of the teachers there I knew him from church. And so, he spent time with my dad and my girlfriend's mom out there on the farm. And, so when it came time, he was like 4. I sent him to preschool. Maybe he was 5, and he went, 2 days a week and did fine. But then we sat down. They have like a conference in the spring, and I know that the one teacher who, again, she's known me since my little sister was little. She's like, we really hate to tell you this, but we don't think he's ready to go to kindergarten. I said, oh, please, no need to apologize. I know that, because he's a June baby. You don't always send June kids, boys especially aren't always ready to go the first year that they could go. Because he's like, they're like, he doesn't want to color. He doesn't want to write. And again, he was a walker.
Yeah, he just wants to run. I just want to run around.
He was very physical, And so, he's not one to draw. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to tell this embarrassing story about Gellin. There was one time he had a friend come over, and he was probably in junior high. And his friend drew a bunch of like anime people, and he had them in these laminated like binder holders, and Gellin erased his name off of it and wrote his name on there.
You almost made me blow my drink through my nose.
Did you ever know about that?
I'm thinking I did, because I think he got in trouble.
I think he did, because they were Dragon Ball Z characters.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
Goku.
I can't remember who drew that.
Gosh, I don't remember either.
But I remember that, and I said, but we knew, right?
Plagiarism, bro. Yeah, he just busted these things out. He's never done anything artistic in his life. And he's like, look, I drew these.
Bless his heart, though.
Okay, he has sports. He's fine. He doesn't need art. Oh, man. But I was thinking back on this, like, when we decided to do the podcast and stuff, I was just thinking about stuff. And I was thinking about doing school projects and remember having a meltdown because they were always bad. And I was like, but my mom's really good at art. I don't understand why my school projects were bad, but it's always because I told you about the project the night before.
That usually is it. And I mean, here I am a teacher, and I'm like, now I wasn't back then. But I wasn't always necessarily on top of things, like I know, some parents get overwhelmed or whatever. But yeah, that's some of it. But I also recall you, and I'm trying to think when it was
Was it the
because
Serpent Mound one?
I don't know because I always had the scrapbook stuff,
Yeah.
and you're like busy doing your thing, and you didn't always wait till the night before. Though I would chew you out because we've had to make emergency runs to go get
Clay.
stinking
Poster board.
poster board and stuff. And it's not like now when things were open all hours, and we didn't have a Hobby Lobby. And if we did, it was on Sunday when Hobby Lobby was closed. Um, but you were doing some project, and the thing is, I mean, you always did yourself. And um, I was like, Kylie, here I've got all this scrapbook paper. I said, if you had these pictures you were going to put on the poster board. I said, if you took your picture and you put it on this back paper and put it on there, it would just make it like stand out and look so good. And you're like, I'm not doing that. And you were little. And I'm like, fine. I mean, because that was me. I mean, I wasn't one, my dad would, but I wasn't one to do my kids' school projects.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather you go to class with a sort of
Mediocre
looking project,
child,
but it was
looking,
your
yeah. Well, that's
project.
the thing. I remember taking something.
And you know what I
these...
said too? I thought too, and if a teacher does not look at my fourth grade, third grade, second grade, sixth grade, seventh grade daughters' posters and realize that she did them and judge her against posters done by parents, well,
you're a bad teacher.
That's bad. Well,
the thing is I remember taking mine in, and they just have these amazing
that you
projects.
knew that the other kids didn't do.
Yeah.
What did they learn from that?
Absolutely nothing.
They learned to let other people do the work for them.
I learned that I'm not good at art.
Or again, here is an A. Tell your mother she did a good job. I don't know. I would much rather a child learn to do it themselves and it be done. And you know what? It may go back to the fact I remember in kindergarten. Nope, first grade. In first grade, the big deal in kindergarten, first grade when I was in school was we would make these books, and they were like nicely done. And at one time I had them, but it was too traumatic for me. I didn't want them anymore because of the memories from them. So, my mom's like, oh, here, do you want these books? I'm like, no, thank you. But, they would stitch them together with fabric and they would look like real books. But I remember I was doing this one and it was about an owl. And again, I was always considered a pretty good drawer. And I drew this little owl. And if you think about what first graders draw like, it was this little skimpy owl. And my teacher took it and she rounded it out and everything in my book, and made this owl. And I didn't even ever want to open the book again because my owl had been desecrated by my teacher.
That's
okay.
awful.
I get it. My owl was skinny and malnourished looking, but it was my owl.
Oh, that's teachers can make or break somebody. I'm telling you.
And that's why in my classes, it hurts my feelings that by fourth grade, kids have already pigeonholed themselves as I'm not good at drawing. I can't draw. And I just really encourage my kids. I mean, I don't teach art. I used to teach art my first year, and now we have someone that teaches art. But I do things like directed drawing, which is cool. You can get on YouTube, and there's guys that this one guy we watched that he encourages them to do it with a marker, just so that you take a risk. I do it as risk taking and taking chances. And I try to reverse some of that negative self-talk. Because I think kids, young kids, art should be about the process and not the product.
Yeah, the end of it.
Yeah, because but that's with everything. I try to teach a growth mindset. Kids come to fourth grade already hating math or thinking they're not good at math, and I always did well in school, but I didn't consider myself a math person. And it closed some job opportunities for me, I think, because when I finally got to working with numbers, Um, I absolutely enjoyed, working with numbers. And so I try to show kids to have an open mind about math, and the same with art and even with talent. Who decides at 10 that you can't draw?
Right.
That's it, to me, it's sad. And when they ask questions like, "You're such a good drawer," yes, I am. No, I practice.
Right.
I'm an adult. I've been drawing for a long time, and you know, you're 10
Yeah.
and you've not been drawing, and your hand coordination is not developed fully, and because I think everybody needs to quit judging. And I try myself because I see it too. Comparison is the destroys joy, and I try to do that in art and everything. I mean, if you can get joy from your art, then who cares what anybody else thinks about it?
That's amazing. I'm going to end it on that note because that was just chef's kiss. Beautiful. I'm also drinking White Claws. Sponsor me.
White Claw, sponsor her.
I want to be
Bernie
sponsored.
says so.
Bernie said so. It's on my Facebook. You can look it up. But yeah, I'm going to end it on that note. This was a good Dills Extravaganza.
Yay.
We're going to make some bendy people.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. Thank
All
you,
right.
baby.
Bye.
Bye ya.
Y'all, she's the best person I've ever met. Oh my God, my heart. I'm just really happy to have that episode. I'm really excited. She knows that I'm not going to have kids, so I'll just let Mr. Beans listen to it, and he'll really enjoy it. And then when Mr. Beans has no babies, and we adopt another baby, I'll let them listen to it because it's our heirloom. Ugh, she's so great. We made bendy dolls, and we got to the hair part, and I had a freaking panic attack. But we ended up making specific bendy dolls, which I'm going to talk about in the next episode. And I'm really excited about them. She didn't finish them, I don't think, yet. We're supposed to finish them together. So she finished a little bit of them. I got really tired. I did it for like 2 hours, and I was like, I'm out. I'm out. This is hard. But the bendy dolls are really cool. They're really fascinating. She did a Harry Potter, Ron Weasley. She did Elsa. She did all kinds of little dolls. And then the doll houses are just fabulous. They're so cute. And yeah, I just think it is so neat that there's a whole miniature community. And my mom used to use internet forums before social media even existed. It's crazy. It's so wild. The Dills Extravaganzas are going hard. And what is a Dills Extravaganza without fucking George Dills? That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have George Dills on this podcast. He's a wild man. I guess he's just going to tell me a bunch of crazy ass stories. We'll see how that goes. Oh, man, I'm excited. Every time I see him, he's like, I got my gun. Yeah, we know, Dad. We know. So don't fuck with my father. He is armed, loaded gun at all times. It doesn't matter. There was one time me and my boyfriend came home really late. We knocked on the door, and he answered the door with a gun. So yeah, don't fuck with that man. But again, my mom, just a magical, lovely human with a very good spirit. I just love her so much. It was so fun to do this episode. They came down. We had a giant ass pizza from Goodfellas, the only way to do it, and just had a fun time. And Covington's wilding out right now. It's fucking 60 degrees, so people are out in their fancy ass cars. We got dirty little kids running around with no shoes and no shirt on, just playing in the mud, asking to pet my dog, and then just around my dog for way too long. And sometimes I act like I don't hear them. They're like, hey, can I pet your dog? And I just keep walking. I just keep going. No, I ain't got time for you. Plus, my dog is so energetic, he will go for days. So, yeah, that was Dills Extravaganza Part 2. I hope you enjoyed. If you do have YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'm at 18 subscribers. It's a lot of fun. I think one of my videos has about 65 views, so that's really exciting. I try not to give a fuck about numbers, but it's a numbers game, baby. I really just want to go live on YouTube. If I get up to 1,000 subscribers, I'm pretty sure I can go live. And I would rather do that than Facebook because my Facebook live stream was a mess. But yeah, so the next episode, I'm going to be talking about our experience making the Bendy dolls. Then I'm going to have my friend Amber on. And then Hood Panda is going to be on. And me and Amber talk about our voice. We go through different subjects, topics. She is also somebody who considers themselves, I would say, talentless. So it's really fun to kind of dive into that. And then Hood Panda, he is the one that did the 670 challenge in Columbus on a pair of rollerblades in a panda head naked. So I'm really excited to have him on. And we got some crazy ass shit coming up. Slut Bomb, the crazy punk band. I say crazy because they have a lot of energy. They're a lot of fun. And Cincinnati is going to be on. And then we have Lee Kimbrell, comedian in Cincinnati. Hilarious. We get pretty deep, honestly, in some of our topics. And we just got a big lineup. I just dropped my new calendar. Gonna have some super artistic friends on, friends that paint, friends that do woodworking, some more comedians, and I have a couple co-ops planned. So catch me out there on YouTube with some other people, and it's just been a really fun time. I really want to say thank you for tuning into Talentless Talent. In October, when I started this, I was just doing it for fun. I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I didn't expect anybody to reach out or really even give a shit. And it's not because of those people. It's really just me. Like, I've never made anything before in my life. I never thought I could do anything. And here I am, still going. It's fucking March, and I'm still doing it. So thank you so much. It's so cool to interact with people. People buying my stickers, people shout me out, people messaging me saying, hey, I really like this episode. People coming up to me at work and just being like, bruh, some of the shit you say is wild. Some people saying, you know what, that episode wasn't the best quality. You know, we're working on it, okay? You should see the mics that I started out with. Not the best, not the best. So I'm going to have somebody who has a bookstagram come on, talk about how they spend their time reading. My friend Autumn, that's who that is. I love her. And yeah, it's just gonna be a really fucking fun couple of months. It's gonna be a fun summer. We're just getting the ball rolling. We're just starting. So thank you again, guys. I still have stickers available if you're interested in some stickies. And just catch me out. It's gonna be warm. The sun is gonna be up longer. Time change next week. Next week, we get a time change. I'm getting back to normal. You don't even know. You don't even know. I also drank tequila tonight, so I'm feeling a little loosey-goosey. All right. Don't know what episode number it is. We'll never know. It's episode 9017 7421. Thanks for tuning in to Talentless Talent. Follow me on the Insta at Talentless Talent Pod. At Kylie. Follow me on Twitter. I lost 2 Twitter followers. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm just vibing. Add me on Facebook, I guess. Who cares? And then, of course, hit up Talentless Talent with Kylie Dills on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the little bell, like, comment, whatever. Share. Sharing is caring. If you support your friend's art, you are in my heart. All right. Thanks, guys. Talentless Talent with Kylie Dills. Let's get it.